The present federal government, and I have no apology to make to anybody, has been blind, deaf, and dumb. ASUU should have used the time, those months they went on strike, to look inwards too. You cannot negotiate with a deaf, dumb, and blind person or people. I said ASUU should have looked inward because there are those of them too who are not worth their name of being lecturers.
Conversation on the ASUU strike that has finally been suspended, not entirely called off, but suspended. I'd just like you to just, in just a few minutes left, to relay that thought again. And then going forward, how do you think both ASUU and federal government should handle this issue? Because it looks like not everything is not entirely settled. In fact, it's not entirely settled. ASUU was compelled by a court order to resume. Their resumption was conditional.
I would like us to go through the place of education in a crisis-ridden Nigeria. The convocation lecture by Fafebaola University of Ekiti, Ekiti State, Nigeria, by Dr. Mike Ozekome. And with what I have been sharing with people, ASUU should have used the time, that is, the members of Academic Staff Union of Universities should have used the time, those months they went on strike, to look inwards too. It's not one-way traffic. The federal government, I see the present federal government, and I have no apology to make to anybody, has been blind, deaf, and dumb.
As regards all systems of education.
Nearly all the spheres of our lives in this country. Look at the insecurity. And that's why Dr. Ruben Agbati, in his review, said, yes, that time, Father Ajakaiye, angry but not despair. That time, 2007. But now, angrier. Why? Because we have the resources. Look at, if a team wins a match, you will give that person $40,000 or whatever. You give dollars. You are even spending in dollars, not in naira anymore. Is Nigeria not a failed state then? I'm saying this because we have to face the realities of life. Until we face, if you are you are the husband, the father in your family, and your family is in crisis, and you are not attending the series of crises, then the family will collapse.
So what would you have had ASUU do?
I'm saying this, that with the present, you cannot negotiate with a deaf, dumb, and blind person or people. I said ASUU should have looked inward because there are those of them too who are not worth their names of being professors, of being lecturers in our higher institutions. And they know it themselves. Even those who have been telling me, and students too, a lecturer will come to the class. They've now found out that he was copying from the internet, word for word.
Word for word.
So they too decided not to be going to class because they had known
what he is going to dictate in class.
And there are those who don't even prepare. ASUU should have done because you cannot give what you don't have. Then negotiation. How many times have they gone on strike within the past 10 years? And who are the people suffering? The parents. Even when the parents said they will be paying, even if you think that it is small, little drops of water make the ocean. ASUU disagreed, rejected totally. You don't do that. Then this government doesn't care. And you've been on strike, if not because of the appeal in industrial court, then appeal court judgment. Though I have a question mark on that too. Question mark in the sense that it is then that the federal government now knew that contempt of, or what was, that the judgment must be
obeyed first.
Must be obeyed. What of the judgments that have been against the government? How many of them have they obeyed? So, my brother, ASUU, I'm quoting just a quotation from Thomas Paine, the British American activist and philosopher. To argue with someone who has renounced the use of reason is like administering medicine to the dead. Let them go, because by the time they go back, there will be dilapidated of buildings, of infrastructure, existing infrastructure. And by the time they go back, they will now have New Cruise FM. Thank you very much. Even the Yoruba, all your programs, I've been listening to most of them, like the one yesterday, saying that there are those who have now said the students will start their examinations on Wednesday.
Yes.
And I keep on saying, I told you then, garbage in, garbage out. In a staff room in this Ekiti. Not all core members. As I said, I don't generalize, but I'm a practical person. In the staff room, 2 core members, or the staff, they were introducing themselves. I teaches agriculture. Then the one teaching English, I teaches English. Then another one, this time with master's degree. What is your CV, your curriculum, your curriculum vitae? I know study am. So you now see why I'm very, very particular about this. Then I say garbage in, garbage out.
But the federal government would say in its own defense that they don't want to give a deal or reach an agreement that they will not be able to fulfill. Especially that's what the president has been saying and the minister.
You are talking about deal. Most of them who have been at the ends of affairs, the term is have they not been dealers?
Okay.
No. Okay. Practically, General Obasanjo, President Obasanjo, were together at the convocation lecture.
Yeah.
He said he came late because he left Abeokuta at 4:30 a.m. and he didn't know that the roads were as bad. When he was the president of this country, active president for 8 years, what did he do for our roads?
Okay.
And as I told at the Thanksgiving Mass of the then governor before he left,
yes,
I had to ask a question. Because you are here, Chief Wole Olanipekun doesn't come here every day, does he?
No, he doesn't.
Does he come every hour or every second? No, because you see this as your project.
Yeah.
As your own. We must own Nigeria. And I asked, if the governor was there, the governor appointed people, what of the Commissioner of Works? And the Ministry of Works and Transportation? But don't know that the next day, even public holiday, the next day, Monday, there were traces that they began to fix.
To fix the roads.
We can maintain, even if they are federal roads, that is what we call maintenance culture. When I was growing up, we used to have PWD, Public Works Department. They were being called the Nokere then. Where are they? Look at the roads. And Obasanjo was now complaining. We shall get it. No, you know what? I've made, what is sadism? I know you understand English. Let us just tell our people. How do you describe sadism?
Well, somebody who doesn't exactly want to see anything good is just pleased by evil.
What of sadist?
A sadist is that
the person. Okay. Now, the opposite of sadism.
Yeah, an happy person, optimist.
So, my brother, I've now coined 2 words. If there is sadism, there is joyism.
Okay.
If there is sadist, there is joyist. Okay. I've decided to make myself a joyist and an encourager. Otherwise, Sam, what is happening in this country, and you keep on having, you will be having high blood pressure.